Richard Sherman, Seattle's worst nightmare. Let's get it, man. With you guys, your boy ODJ back here with another reaction video / discussion video. We're going to be discussing a little bit about Richard Sherman's whole ordeal and what had happened, and we're going to watch his memorable plays for Seattle. Heads up, if you guys are watching, and you guys need to pay attention to my man Justin Winslow. He out here busting ass right now, beating the freaking Philadelphia 76ers, leading the charge. Young buck from Miami. But besides that, we get back to football real quick. Richard Sherman, of course, we all know what happened with his whole ordeal. He got traded. No, he got traded. He got released by the Seattle Seahawks, and he, of course, signed with the San Francisco 49ers just south of him. And he signed what looked like a pretty good deal until you looked at all the little itty parts of the deal. But we're going to start at the beginning of why he left Seattle. Of course, starting all the way back from not just last season, but the year before that, there were trade rumors and trade talks, very serious trade talks 2 years ago during the draft. And then they played throughout that season all the way throughout. And there were trade rumors throughout the whole season for him. Then you fast forward to last season, there were very, very, very heavy trade talks for him during the draft again, and all throughout the season before trade deadline, there was very huge trade talks. Of course, the team was doing pretty well, and he got hit with the injury bug just like a lot of players in the Seahawks did. Him, Earl Thomas, Cam Chancellor, all got injured. A couple players on the offensive side got injured as well. And even with all those injuries, the team still persevered and still almost got to the playoffs. But of course, they didn't get to it. And of course, Richard Sherman faced a very, very heavy injury that was nagging him all season, which was his Achilles. He felt it, that it was going to get ruptured, and it got ruptured. So he had to sit out the whole season. Now, of course, the reason why the trade rumors were brought up in the first place, which is the reason why he's no longer in Seattle and Michael Bennett's no longer in Seattle, because those were the two most outspoken players on the defense in terms of talking badly about the offense, and in terms of Richard Sherman talking about how the offensive side of the ball cost him back-to-back Super Bowls, and how about the offensive coordinator at the time, I think, yeah, Tom Cable, right? He completely messed up the whole dynasty, the whole flow of the team, the heart of the team. And it's not like he just said it once to just kind of like leave it out in the media, but he reiterated it many, many times, and many, many instances we saw him go back to that. During the regular season, one of the games, I think 2 years ago, he talked about, or we saw him, oh no, he said that he told the coach, you're not going to ruin what the defense has created like you did in the Super Bowl. And of course, that was just another instance of bringing up how the offensive side cost the whole team Super Bowl, a back-to-back Super Bowl victory. I think him and Michael Bennett talked about how it's not so much they didn't like Russell Wilson, but they thought Russell Wilson was some shit. They didn't really respect Russell Wilson as a leader, even though he has leadership qualities, even though he has led them through hell and high water. Even though he hasn't had a consistent offensive line, he hasn't had a good running game, and he's produced, he never got any respect from those defensive guys. So that was another reason why, you know, he was ousted, because him and Michael Bennett were kind of like, at least portrayed as kind of like the head spokesman for that type of movement, you know, to give Russell Wilson a very hard time and not give him any respect, and this, that, and the third. And of course, all of that led to trade rumors being put out because he was talking shit about Russell Wilson, talking shit about the offensive coordinator, low-key talking some shit about Pete Carroll as well. And then that just led to him getting all those trade rumors being brought out there, and all of them were very serious, I'm pretty sure. And they just couldn't trade him, or they just couldn't get something that was appealing enough to trade for him. I'm pretty sure they wanted a first and a second. I'm not 100%. My memory's not 100% correct on what exactly they wanted. Comment down below if you know exactly what they wanted for Richard Sherman. But I'm pretty sure, you know, Richard Sherman's a Pro Bowl corner, top flight corner in the NFL. So I'm not surprised they wanted a first round pick. Who wouldn't want a first round pick for a premier player at any position, except for probably, what's the position that you could get a premier player without getting a first-round pick. I don't think tight end. But maybe Jimmy Graham got traded to the Seattle Seahawks for Max Unger. Max Unger was a premier center, so that's kind of like an even swap in a way. But of course, you know how that worked out. Jimmy Graham is no longer with Seattle, and Max Unger is still with the Saints, and they just almost went to the NFC Championship game. So, bruh. Yeah, I don't think this is a position out there in the NFL where you're gonna trade a top flight player and not get a first round pick. It's just how it is. His situation is a lot more easy to break down than Des Bryant's, because Des Bryant is so recent, so fresh, and with all the news coming out, we're still learning stuff. Richard Sherman's has simmered down a little bit now. Richard Sherman, after he got released, which I think he kind of wanted, he tested the market, and he, of course, well, he didn't even test the market. He just called up San Francisco because he wanted to be in the same division as Seattle Seahawks. And they just said, yeah, sure, we need a top flight corner. Bring you in. They brought him in. I don't think he has his own agent, and he created his own contract. And it did look lucrative. I think it's like $39.5 million. But in totality, with all the money he's going to get, he has to pass a lot of little itty-bitty things in terms of incentive rules that he has to kind of meet or kind of push for, strive for in terms of productivity to get all the money that's available for him. And a player who's been injured, especially with the ruptured Achilles, yes, it's testing himself, but it's kind of a little scary. But that's just, you know, that's performance-based business in general. It's very scary, and you're gonna put you're gonna put your shit out there, and if you don't produce, your shit's gonna fucking hit the fan, and it's not gonna be pretty. But if you do produce, it's great, it's amazing, everybody's happy. You're happy, the fans are happy, the organization's happy. So we'll see how it goes. He's betting on himself. And that's pretty much the Richard Sherman situation in a nutshell. There's not really much any extra to say because that's just how it is. My opinion on it, I didn't think he could stay in Seattle, to be honest with you. It was just too much going on, too much volatility. I just felt like, I don't know, I'm the type of person that, like, if I don't like, you know, the situation that I'm in, I'm just gonna get the hell out of there. And I don't think he liked it, especially after what he's claiming is the offense, which, I mean, in my estimation, they helped my team win the Super Bowl. The offense did cost the defense the Super Bowl. Yes, the defense did let it come back, but they didn't let them, you know, have a huge lead and, you know, get blown out. They made sure the offense had at the end of the game, position to score, and they did, and they didn't score. And ever since then, I just felt like, you know, with the defensive guys leaving because of the contracts that were being handed out to the premier players, in conclusion, and you know, everything together with that, with the offense messing up with the Super Bowl, and him not liking Russell Wilson, and him being mad at the offensive coordinator, it was just too much going on there that just wasn't pretty. It was just like, I don't get how you go to work every day and still excited to come out the next day. Like, you know, it just wasn't looking pretty. And the defense was a grinding defense, but the offense had to be a pass-happy offense, and it just didn't match because then Russell Wilson was putting up the numbers, and he's like, why are you talking shit? It was just too much going on over there, and he had to move. I didn't expect him to go straight to San Francisco, but then I didn't expect him not to test anywhere else in the market. I'm pretty sure he could have gotten a lot more money, could have been in a better situation, but in his head, he's saying, I just want to go up against Seattle. And it's going to be very fun to watch because Seattle does not have a premier wide receiver. Paul Richardson just left to Washington, I think. So, yo, it's about to be lit because they do not have a premier wide receiver. They lost Jimmy Graham, and now it's really Russell Wilson, no offensive line, running backs that we don't know. I fuck with Mike Davis personally, but he hasn't proven himself to be an above average running back or even an average running back. So it's going to be interesting to watch. And then he has another hot quarterback on his hands, Jimmy Garoppolo, who has the whole team in the palm of his hands. He has good, he's ended the season off hot, which is good. They're going into the next season very optimistic and hot with a young QB. And, you know, they're building pieces around him. They still have Solomon Thomas. I think that's his name, Solomon Thomas from Stanford, who's the first round pick last year on defense. Reuben Foster up in the air. We don't have to talk about him. But yeah, everything with them is just on the up and up. It's just It's going to be interesting to see. To be honest, I do think San Francisco is going to at least blow the Seattle Seahawks out in one game next year. That's just me personally. So, my standpoint, I don't know if he made the right or wrong decision. I hate when I watch stuff and people are like, he made the right decision, he made the wrong decision. Like, no, you're not living your life. You don't know what he's choosing his decision for, particularly unless he completely like says it out there. People interpret a lot of stuff, and I hate that a lot. And that's one thing I notice when I watch these broadcasters on here. That's one reason why I love Chris Carter, because Chris Carter, Nick Wright likes to interpret a lot of things. And Chris Carter's like, no, let's not interpret it. Let's just kind of look at it from like a normal human standpoint. You don't know blank and blank. We don't know blank and blank and blank. So why do we assume all this stuff? And then Chris Carter lays stuff out there. Now he does go off and be a little too much aggressive on air and doesn't let Nick and the other girl talk because he has so much athletic experience. And he's a good broadcaster in his own right. But those type of points that he makes, I love. So I don't know if it's a right or wrong decision for him. Let's just see how it goes this season. I think he's put himself in a position to get into the playoffs next year. But like I said, we have to see. So with all that being said, thank you guys for bearing through all of that. Hopefully you wanted to listen from me. But let's hop into these highlights from the Seattle. A lot of deflections, a lot of interceptions. He was like one of the top interceptions getters in. He was one of the top defensive backs in the NFL in terms of interceptions for these past, I want to say, 5 years? 5 years? Is it 5 years? I want to say 4 years. Let me go back to 4 years. Alright, let's hop into this right now, my guys and gals. Did he strip him or something? He did! Woo! I think this was the game they beat the Dallas Cowboys when they were very high in 2014. God dang, he completely blew his shit up. Get the fuck out of here. Interception. Long stride. Long stride. Oh, he didn't score. This is a sack. Oh, interception. You just threw it up there like a fucking bum. Sherman. I never watched American Pie. I think that's where Sherman is from. Oh, this is the You Mad Bro game. Man, that Deion Branch. Deion Branch literally went from New England to Seattle and then went back to New England. And then he got fucked up by Seattle. That was the You Mad Bro game. Interception. Long and rangy arms, bro. Do you see that extension to catch the ball like that? He was a former wide receiver at Stanford. I really like that shit. Now, DB's plays aren't really as memorable as like wide receivers. Oh, sack right there. Get the hell out of here, Mark Sanchez. Fumble sack. Like the Dez Bryant like highlight tape, I could remember probably like 2/3 or at least half of those touchdowns. Nice interception. Man, Richard Sherman low-key got a lot of interceptions, bro. Dead ass. Even though he's a strap-up corner because he does play a lot of cover corner and not really man-to-man. Oh, he blocked that shit. Oh, he's taking it all the way. This is the one he took all the way. Simple. But, yeah, I mean, like, he gets a lot of interceptions, bro. This is when Sam Bradford was still with St. Louis. Jeez, that was a nice interception. Cut right in front of the stream route. Easy. This was the interception to save the game against the Texans. I remember this one. This was a grinded out game, and then Richard Sherman just put it away with that touchdown. This is when Richard Sherman was on top of the world after that interception, bro. That Jake Locker. Bruh, is that Jake Locker? Bruh, is that Jake Locker, bruh? Or Jake Locker wore number 10. Bruh, who is number 4 for the Titans, bruh? I think Jake Locker wore number 10. Who is that, bruh? Who is that just now throwing the football? Interception. He got a lot of interceptions, bro. That man got laid the fuck out. You know. This was Richard Sherman's best play of his career. When you say perfect DB play, falling away, smacking the ball away with the opposite hand, it's just crazy, bro. Not even touching the receiver, looking back at the football. Perfect. Did he return this? Did he return this? Oh, it's a flag. Nah, he didn't return it. Out here pointing guys out. Oh, this was the game. I think he made a beast interception on the sideline right here. I remember this interception. That was, I remember this. This was when Carolina went to the playoffs with like a 7. It was like an 8-7. What was it? It was like an 8. Wait, no. Was it a 9-7-1 season? I feel like it was an 8-1 season for North Carolina, for the Carolina Panthers. I remember Carolina Panthers got into the playoffs with like a losing record, or like a record where they got a tie in one game. And then Cam won the first game against the Arizona Cardinals because the quarterback play was just abysmal. Then he played Seattle and then he threw that interception. I think Cam Chancellor had a big touchdown against them too. What do you do against Aaron Rodgers? Oh shit, I remember this. Man, Richard Sherman is no fucking joke, bro. To be honest, I think he's gonna ball out with the San Francisco 49ers. Man. Interception. He got so many interceptions, bro. I said it like 10 times now. I did not know he got this many interceptions, bro. Dead ass. We at least at like 14. We smacked the shit out of him. That's another thing too. Richard Sherman's a very tackle happy corner. He likes to get up and tackle. He's a bigger corner too. He's like 6'1", 6'2". That's easy. That's lunch money. Richard, what are you doing? Richard! Oh, okay. Yeah, he's still stupid. I'm at Rex Ryan's cursing. He didn't even say nothing to him. Interception, boy. Jared Goff. He got smacked? He got smacked! I saw him running. I said, hold up. He has to get smacked here. Richard Sherman's not no joke. He a hitter, bro. He a hitter! That guy thought it was sweet! It's not sweet. It's sour. Do you not see the color of the unis? It's a sour-ass color, bro. And those are Richard Sherman's best plays with the Seattle Seahawks, and he made a ton of them. He made a ton of plays for the Seattle Seahawks. It doesn't take into account the tackles that he made, all the plays that he shut down because he shut down one side of the field. And he was, one of the years, he was the least thrown to cornerback in the NFL, but he still had like, I think 8 interceptions that year. Oh, man. He's still up there in the top 5 DBs, of course. We have to see how he bounced back from this year, but when I do come up with my top 5 or top 10 DB list, he's definitely going to be on it, so just expect that. And hopefully everything's on the up and up for Richard Sherman, just like with Des Bryant. And with all that being said, comment down below what you guys think of everything I commented, if I kind of reported it correctly in terms of what everything that happened to Richard Sherman. Of course, I'm not really reporting it because this is just known common knowledge now, but I don't know if I kind of enunciated it correctly. So comment down below that for me. Comment down below any extra information that I didn't put out in terms of the toxicity level in the locker room for the Seattle Seahawks. And comment down below how you guys think Richard Sherman's going to do for the San Francisco 49ers. With all that being said, ODJ back here with a shorter video than my Des Bryant video. Shit, that video was 30 minutes. This one's like 20. And I'll catch you guys in my next video. Ronald Jones, running back for USC, highlight tape. Deuce.